Good morning, everybody. Morning. Give people a few minute or so to hop on, those that can catch the live. I was going to say, good to see you all. Well, I guess I can say that because those of you that are on the replay, right? All right. Welcome to day 3, everybody. Day 3. We are just getting started. I know having did the prayer challenge for so many years, there's like this momentum that sort of kicks in on day, I don't even know what day it is. It's been so long since we did that challenge, but there's just something about committing to doing something like this. And just doing it anyway. I was thinking about that, the word anyway. I don't know if in this challenge we're going to cover it. I'm assuming we will, just knowing Mark Batterson and how he writes. But when I teach about habit building and things like that, one of the things that I always the topic that I end up in is how to do this when life is blah, right? Because when we think about setting goals and doing new habits and all of that, it would be really great if everything else in your life was just smooth sailing. And then this particular area, you just were free to think about just this. That has never been the case for me, and I'm sure not for really anybody. So the thing that I wanted to do, I was thinking about the other days that we did. So we did, our first day was wade into the water. So I want to say this. If life is kind of going, wade into the water anyway. Day 2 was take the stairs. If you make a decision that, whatever habit that, you make a decision, I am telling you that's why the word challenge, right? It's not going to be easy. So on those days, take the stairs anyway. You're not going to feel like it, but do it anyway, right? Because I don't know if any of you seen that video that Gary did about big doors opening on little hinges. So these habits that we're talking about and that we're building in our life, those are the hinges. I hope you're writing this down. Those are the hinges that open the big doors for us, right? And those big doors are our big dreams, our big goals, but they open on the little hinges. And that's what we get to work on in this challenge. Isn't that fun? Not really. This is the part that's not so fun. When the door opens, that's exciting. Hey, good morning, Nancy. And yeah, if you're able to catch us on the live, make sure you comment. I just love to see who actually joins us live. I know we have many people, even my family in Canada and friends, they are 2 hours behind. So my mom was like, nope, not getting up at 6. No. So, and speaking of the replays, I know I made a couple posts about it, but I want to bark about it here a little bit more. The best place for the replays, even if you caught the live, but you want to hear it again, is go to our website. Go to our website, renaissancelifeministries.com. Click on the tab messages, and then they are so nice and in order. Because what's going to happen on Facebook is actually Facebook takes them down after 30 days, I think, number 1. And number 2, they're going to get all jumbled in between other posts. So it's going to be hard for you to go and say, where is she? What day was it? Right? So that's the best place to go and find them and watch them. So if you want to watch them. Oh, and here's another idea. Treat it like Audible, like, that app where you can listen to books and just listen to them. You don't have to watch me, but maybe you want to replay one of the chapters or one of the days. And as you're cooking, It could be playing in the background, right? As you're working out. I mean, not that it would be that exciting to hear me during that time, but if you want, I'm just throwing that out there. Okay. Oh, one more thing before we get started. I have had some requests for the consistency calendar. So make sure you email me. Well, good morning, Vance. Good to see you. Well, I can't really see you, but I see your name and your picture. Awesome. Awesome. So if you're interested in the consistency calendar, which remember I said it's like a year at a glance. And it just is, it has been super helpful for me. And like, if you heard my other day that I said, I've got drawers full because I can't throw them away because I printed them off of all kinds of different habit trackers and all these other things. And they're all cute and pretty. Some of them very artistic, and I want them to work so bad and they don't work. And you know what? The whole reason we track our habits is so that we can see what's working or not. Because if it's not working, right, then we need to change our game, right? Because that's what this is all about, is we want to see results. We want to see a different life. I don't want 2026 to end and some areas still be the exact same. Anybody else? Yeah. So one of the best ways I have found is to track. So if you want it, make sure you email me. So our email, remember the website was renaissancelifeministries.com. The email is renaissancelifeministries@gmail.com. So emailed me there, say, hey, I want them. So when I send it to you, it'll be a PDF and you'll need a printer. And I did mine last night. So I've got a stack here of I don't even know how many, because each sheet is a habit, right, that you're wanting to implement, right? And there's many different areas that we're working on, right? So I've got them for like everything that I'm doing. So hello, Elliot. I don't know if I'm saying or maybe that's your last name, Firi from Malawi. Good to see you. I see Gary's on here. All right, let's hop in. And again, one more point for those that are hopped on late. If you want to see the replays, the best place is not here on Facebook. The best place is on the website under the tab messages. But live is through Facebook. So that's daily, 8 o'clock right now, Eastern Standard Time for 30 days. So today is day 3. I think that was all I had to say before we get started. Oh, I know what I wanted to say yesterday. Yes, Fury, I would put the email in the comment. Actually, I'll have Gary do that. Gary, if you could put our email in the comments, that'd be great. Okay, what was I? Oh, yes. Yesterday, I commented something that I did before when we did challenges, that I put notes in the comments. And then I thought, no, I'm not doing that. I want you guys, if as you know, those of you that are catching the lives, I want you in the comments every day, just one thing that sticks out to you, as you know, and it could be right from the book. Maybe it's something I say, whatever, but something. And because we're just starting this, you kind of have a cheat sheet, because you could today post something that you actually got yesterday and I won't know the difference, right? Anyway, so you guys do that in the comments, something that you learned, some sort of aha moment that happened for you. You know what is not fair? I just got to say this real quick. You guys get to all come on here and maybe you're in your pajamas. I don't know. This morning I was running late, hopped out of the shower, ran to the office here, and like had to do something with myself, which didn't really happen. But anyway, okay, so Gary, you put our website, but put our email, the Gmail one. Okay, I'm going to get reading day 3. So day 3's title, oh, I hope you have pen and paper handy. Yeah, love that, Nancy. Yes, we talked about yesterday. He said, don't look as an obstacle. Do you remember what he said before that? Oh, he says the obstacle is not the enemy. The obstacle is the way. Yes, that was good, wasn't it, Nancy? Yep. Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so day 3, get off the grid. Our scripture for today is 2 Peter chapter 3, verse 8. With the Lord, a day is like 1,000 years, and 1,000 years are like a day. Sorry, I've got to just rearrange my thing here. Okay. When the Russian comedian Yakov Smirnoff immigrated to the United States, he was asked what he loved most about America. His answer: American grocery stores. I walked down an aisle and I saw powdered milk. Just add water and you get milk. Right next to it was powdered orange juice. Just add water and you get orange juice. Then I saw baby powder and I thought to myself, what a country. Instant everything. We wish, right? We live in a culture that aims at 15 minutes of fame rather than 50 years of faithfulness. We want the quick fix. Even better, get rich quick. We are an instant gratification culture, and it's evidenced by how frustrated we become with the smallest delays. Case in point, you're about to board a plane that will fly 500 miles per hour at 30,000 feet, getting you all the way across the country in 5 hours flat. And you're unbelievably frustrated by a 15-minute delay? I get it, and I'm guilty as charged. But it sure beats a covered wagon, doesn't it? It took a covered wagon traveling at the speed of oxen 6 months to cross the country. And there was no economy plus, I promise you that. If you're going to dream big, you need to start small and think long. I love that. This goes back to the growth mindset from day 2. Harder is better, slower is faster. That's as counterintuitive as it is countercultural, but that doesn't make it any less true. Whatever habit that you're trying to make or break, it'll take more than a minute. You have to hitch the wagon and commit yourself to the long haul, called the habit cycle. In the 16th century, an English playwright named John Heywood died about a decade after William Shakespeare was born. He was a lot less famous than Shakespeare, but I bet you've quoted him without even knowing it. A few of his idioms include, many hands make light work, better late than never, and a rolling stone gathers no moss. His most famous axiom, Rome wasn't built in a day. Can I be brutally honest? Habit formation feels like it takes forever. That's when you have to remind yourself that Rome wasn't built in a day. Making habits and breaking them will take longer than you like, no doubt. But the more time you invest, the more meaningful it is. Fun fact, in 1947, General Mills introduced its first instant cake mix. They expected instant success, but the cake mix didn't sell well. The company was confused because it had simplified a difficult task. All you had to do was add water. It was easy peasy. And that was precisely the problem. It was too easy. General Mills commissioned a marketing expert, Ernest Dichter, to figure out why the instant mix wasn't resonating with consumers. His conclusion? We bake a cake for special occasions. In other words, it's an expression of love. Less effort made it less meaningful. Remember 3M we talked about in our introduction, right? The habits that we're making have to be measurable, meaningful, and maintainable. 3M, measurable, meaningful, maintainable. You know which one I think is most important? Maintainable. The hardest. The cake mix was so simple that it felt self-indulgent. What did General Mills do? They made it more meaningful by making it less easy. They made it take more time. When consumers had to add eggs and measure milk, sales soared. The lesson, harder is better, and slower is faster. And it's not just true of a cake mix. If you were looking for easy answers and quick fixes, you bought the wrong book and you're doing the wrong challenge. This 30-day challenge won't be easy, and I make no apologies for that. By definition, a challenge involves a degree of difficulty. The technical term is desirable difficulty, and it's a critical piece of the habit formation puzzle. I shared an equation in the book Win the Day that I want to solve in Do It for a Day. Deliberate practice plus desirable difficulty equals durable learning. Write that down. Deliberate practice plus desirable difficulty equals durable learning. We'll reverse engineer the entire equation over the next 30 days, but let me start with desirable difficulty. It sounds like an oxymoron, as oxymoronic as James 1:2. Consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. Really? Why? Because those trials are opportunities to prove yourself. You can't spell testimony without the word test. When you pass the test, you graduate to the next level. Plus, you're stronger on the other side. Coined by Robert A. Bjork, desirable difficulty refers to a task that requires considerable effort. Difficult tasks slow down the learning process at first, but they yield a long-term benefit called durable learning. If something is too easy, we get bored. If something is too difficult, we quit. Desirable difficulty is the middle ground where growth can actually happen. The sweet spot is called JMD, just manageable difficulty. It's a little outside of your comfort zone. It's a little beyond your resources. It's a little past your pay grade. That's why we need coaches, therapists, and trainers. We need someone who pushes us past our perceived limits. Amen. Have you ever heard of the 40% rule? When your mind tells you to quit, you feel like you've given it everything you've got. You've tapped actually only 40% of your potential. That idea originates with the ultramarathon runner and former Navy SEAL David Goggins. When you feel like you've reached the end of your rope, you have actually 60% more potential than you are even aware of. If you're going to tap your full potential, you have to push through. If I would say the right word, you have to push past those mental blocks. As a writer and a pastor, I feel like my job is to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. That's good, isn't it? That might be my job a little bit too. My goal is to coax you out of your comfort zone and into your growth zone. You have to get comfortable with discomfort. Ouch. How? By adding time and resistance. This just sounds like working out. When you push past previous limits and achieve a PR, which is personal record, the ceiling becomes the floor. So how do I make it a habit? Retreat. The word retreat means to move back. The irony, that's how you make forward progress. It's as counterintuitive as the law of diminishing returns. Less is more. If you want to make or break a habit, it's a lot like learning a new dance. My repertoire, his, not mine, is pretty limited, but I can floss and churn the butter, and I do a pretty mean running man. How did I learn those dance moves? I had to break it down and slow it down. Then and only then was I able to go faster. That is true. Taught dancing many years. Simply put, you cannot hurry habits. You have to retreat in order to advance. Remember Alice in Wonderland? She ran as fast as she could to keep up with the Red Queen, but she didn't gain any ground. Ever feel like that? Here, you see, it takes all the running you can do to keep in the same place, said the Queen. If you want to get somewhere else, you must run at least twice as fast as that. How do we get off the merry-go-round that goes faster and faster? You've got to get off the grid. How do we do that? Here's a simple idea: day off or phone off. Next time you read the Gospels, notice how often Jesus withdrew. Jesus was retreating all the time, climbing mountains, walking beaches, sailing across the Sea of Galilee. He even spent 40 days in the wilderness. Evidently, the best way to make progress is by retreating with great frequency and intentionality. Jesus operated with a sense of urgency, yet he was unhurried. In the words of Japanese theologian Kosuke Koyama, he is the 3-mile-an-hour God. I live by a little formula: change of pace plus change of place equals change of perspective. Okay, write that down. Change of pace plus change of place equals change of perspective. There are moments when we need to pick up the pace because of laziness, but more often than not, we need to slow the pace because of busyness. If the devil cannot make us bad, said Corrie ten Boom, he will make us busy. Ooh, that's a good one for church folk. If the devil can't make you bad, he'll make you busy. Why is it that the Sabbath is the longest of the 10 commandments? Perhaps because it's the hardest one to keep. You have to slow down, which is very tough to do when you're in a rat race. At the end of every year, Laura and I take a 2-day planning retreat. Along with budgeting and calendaring, we review our gratitude journals and we set goals for the coming year. We employ a wide variety of techniques to keep us centered, including a word of the year and a verse of the year. You don't have to go somewhere exotic. It could be a staycation, but you do need to set aside time for a set purpose. In addition to that planning retreat, we try to schedule a silent retreat once a year. With all the white noise these days, we need to do some ear cleansing. I love that. Ear cleansing. Finally, I'd recommend one weekend a year to set goals, review goals, and reverse engineer your goals into daily habits. Get off the grid. Wow, that was a good day, wasn't it? And you know what? Here's the thing. With this challenge, this is something else I noticed doing the prayer challenge so many times, is that one time when you go through the challenge, certain days are going to really get you because it's exactly where you are. Then we could repeat this challenge next year, same time, and you'll be going, and it'll be a different day, right? So maybe you're already implementing get off the grid, right? Maybe you've already got that piece in your life, and that is great if you do. But that's why we have 30 days, because I can guarantee you there will be some other days that'll be exactly where you are and the message you need to hear. But I think this get off the grid is probably for all of us in some way or another, right? Like he said, shut off the phone, be intentional, right? Be intentional about what you want to see different this year. Because remember, and I'm so glad I remembered that. And if you haven't seen it, go back in our Facebook page here and find that little message that Gary did. I think it's just a few minutes on big doors open on little hinges. And that's what this whole thing is about, because those little habits that we're talking about, those are the little hinges that are going to open the big doors that we all want to see different in our life, Lord. And I'm not praying. And for each one of us, it's something different, right? I don't know what your desires are for your 2026 to look different, but I know that it all starts here on what we do daily. So anyway, I hope that was a blessing to you. Thank you so much. If you're on here live, I always love to see. Oh, I see we have someone else, Muazzam. Good to see you. Thanks for joining us. And again, I want to say a special hello to our replay people. I am praying for everybody that's doing this challenge. So even if I don't see you on here, but you're watching the replay later, just know that I am praying for you as well. And you're getting the message just as much as if you caught it live. So don't feel bad about that. But make sure you do watch it every day. And again, if you want to get the book and you live in a country where it's available, you are welcome to do that. But I'm reading it for those that don't have that opportunity. So anyway, thank you again for joining us on day 3. And I will see you tomorrow for day 4. Have a great day, everybody.